Spring is here, and the deals are hotter than ever at Shack Shop. Turn heads with stunning bikinis, now on sale. Explore the deep with cutting-edge underwater drones. Gear up for adventure with durable tents for every trip. Ride into spring with unbeatable deals on bikes. Fresh styles, women's fashion, and must-have looks, all discounted. Don't miss the Shack Shop Spring Fling Sale. These prices won't last. Shop now and make this spring unforgettable, only at Shack Shop.
For years, Biel and Justin Timberlake have been viewed as one of Hollywood's most durable couples, glamorous, private when it matters, and seemingly able to weather the kind of storms that often destroy celebrity relationships. But fresh reports suggest even long-time marriages can reach a point of reckoning. According to multiple reports circulating in entertainment circles, Biel has allegedly delivered what insiders describe as a blunt warning to Timberlake: make meaningful changes or risk losing the marriage altogether. The reported ultimatum comes after months of renewed scrutiny surrounding Timberlake's legal troubles, resurfacing controversies, and speculation that the pressures of fame may be spilling into the couple's private life. While neither Biel nor Timberlake has publicly confirmed claims of a marital showdown, the allegations have reignited discussion about whether the superstar pair is facing their most serious crisis yet. Mounting pressure behind closed doors. Sources familiar with the couple reportedly claim Biel has grown exhausted by repeated controversies and the public embarrassment that has followed her husband in recent years. According to those reports, the issue is not one isolated event, but an accumulation, a pattern that has allegedly tested her patience. At the center of the tension is Timberlake's 2024 impaired driving arrest, an episode that generated widespread headlines and, according to insiders, caused significant strain inside the marriage. Though the singer later resolved the legal matter and attempted to move forward, reports claim the fallout never fully disappeared at home. For Biel, some sources allege, the issue goes beyond one arrest. It is about accountability. It is about reliability. And perhaps most importantly, it is about whether past mistakes are becoming recurring behavior. One insider reportedly framed it bluntly, saying Biel has reached a stage where another major incident could force life-changing decisions. Whether exaggerated or not, the language has fueled speculation that something deeper may be happening behind the scenes. A marriage long tested by public scrutiny. Celebrity relationships often operate under pressure unfamiliar to most couples. Every disagreement can become a headline. Every rumor can spiral. Every mistake can be magnified. Biel and Timberlake have experienced all of it. Since marrying in 2012, the pair have navigated intense public attention while raising 2 children and maintaining demanding careers. They have also weathered controversies that might have ended other marriages. There was the wave of tabloid speculation years ago involving Timberlake and co-star Alicia Wainwright. There have been repeated narratives about touring schedules, long stretches apart, and balancing fame with family. And now the DUI fallout appears to have reopened old questions. Can a marriage survive repeated external pressure before private frustrations begin surfacing publicly? That is the question fueling much of the fascination surrounding the latest reports. The arrest that changed the narrative. Though Timberlake has spent decades cultivating a polished image as entertainer, husband, and father, his 2024 arrest disrupted that narrative in a dramatic way. The incident generated headlines worldwide. What may have seemed initially like a legal misstep soon evolved into a broader conversation about judgment, lifestyle, and whether the former pop icon was entering a more troubled chapter. For Biel, according to reports, that attention was deeply frustrating, not only because of the incident itself, but because it thrust their family back into unwanted headlines. Sources have claimed she was angered not simply by the arrest, but by the public spectacle that followed. And when body cam footage later reignited coverage of the incident, reports suggested those frustrations resurfaced. Some insiders now claim that period marked a turning point, a moment when concern may have shifted into something more serious. Las Vegas reports added fuel. If the DUI headlines created tension, allegations tied to Timberlake's appearance at a Las Vegas golf event reportedly intensified concerns. Eyewitness claims suggesting he appeared intoxicated added a new layer of scrutiny, though those accounts remain unverified beyond reporting. Still, perception can often matter as much as fact in celebrity culture, and for someone already under a microscope, even suggestion of repeated issues can prove damaging. Some reports suggest this was where Biel's patience may have truly worn thin, not because of a single event, but because it appeared to continue a pattern she may have hoped was over. Whether fair or not, those reports have contributed to a growing narrative that Biel may be demanding significant changes. She's had it? Few phrases capture tabloid attention like, she's had it, and that line has surfaced repeatedly in coverage surrounding the couple. Anonymous sources have painted Biel as increasingly frustrated with being left to manage parenting responsibilities, while Timberlake remains consumed by career demands and controversy. Some reports claim she feels forced into the role of stabilizer while absorbing fallout she did not create. Others push back on those claims, saying the marriage is under pressure but far from collapse. That divide has only deepened intrigue. Because often in celebrity reporting, conflicting accounts signal one reality: something is happening, even if nobody outside the marriage knows exactly what. Working through it or reaching a breaking point. Not all reporting has pointed toward crisis. Some sources insist the couple remains committed and is simply navigating a difficult season. That version portrays tension, yes, but not imminent separation. Marriage, those sources suggest, is messy, even for celebrities. There are hard stretches, there are resentments, there are repairs, and the latest turbulence may simply be one more chapter. That framing resonates with those who note Biel has repeatedly stood by Timberlake through previous controversies. She stayed after scandal rumors. She stayed through public criticism. She stayed through legal trouble. Why assume this moment is different? Supporters of the couple argue the ultimatum narrative may be more dramatic than reality. Perhaps there have been hard conversations. Perhaps boundaries have been set. That is not necessarily divorce territory. Still, others argue ultimatums emerge only when patience is wearing thin, and that is what keeps the speculation alive. The weight of public embarrassment. For celebrities, humiliation often lands in two places at once: publicly and privately. What may be a fleeting scandal for fans can feel very different inside a marriage. Reports suggest Biel has grown increasingly weary of public embarrassment tied to headlines involving her husband. That emotional fatigue may be central to understanding the reported ultimatum, because some betrayals are not necessarily infidelity. Sometimes they are repeated disappointments, repeated apologies, repeated promises, repeated damage control, and that, according to some observers, may be what makes this moment feel serious. Their carefully built image. Part of why these reports carry such impact is because Biel and Timberlake long represented a particular celebrity ideal: talented, attractive, low drama by Hollywood standards, family-oriented, resilient. That image now appears under strain. And whenever a golden couple faces turbulence, fascination intensifies. People project onto celebrity relationships. They see aspirational romance or cautionary tales. That is why every report about this marriage lands with outsized force. It challenges a narrative many believed. Old scandals never fully die. Complicating everything is the way old controversies often return. Timberlake's past has been repeatedly re-examined in recent years, from relationship histories to career-era criticisms to the cheating rumor episode. Each resurfacing adds context to current scrutiny. And in public perception, patterns matter. Even if incidents are years apart, even if details differ, narratives accumulate. Some observers argue that accumulation may be part of what Biel is responding to. Not one scandal, but the burden of multiple ones. Parenting and priorities. Reports suggesting Biel carried the heavier parenting load have also fueled speculation. Whether overstated or not, that theme appears repeatedly. Career imbalance, emotional labor, absence. These are ordinary marriage stressors magnified by celebrity life. And for many readers, those themes make the story relatable despite the fame. Because beneath the headlines about mansions and tours lies a familiar question. What happens when one partner feels they are carrying too much? That may be the question at the heart of this story. Is this an ultimatum or a wake-up call? The word ultimatum implies finality, but some see it differently. Not as a threat, as a boundary, a demand for change, perhaps even an attempt to save the marriage rather than end it. Viewed through that lens, Biel's reported warning could reflect investment, not abandonment. People issue ultimatums when they still care enough to fight. That possibility complicates the more dramatic divorce narratives. Perhaps this is not the beginning of an ending, but an attempt at a reset. Timberlake's reputation at stake. Beyond marriage, there is also reputation. Timberlake's image has taken visible hits in recent years. The charming former boy band star once seemed nearly untouchable. Now coverage often centers on controversies. That shift matters, because career rehabilitation often begins with personal accountability. If reports of Biel pushing for change are true, some argue it could represent pressure not just to protect a marriage,
but to force reinvention. Hollywood watching closely. Few celebrity marriages attract this kind of sustained interest, but Biel and Timberlake remain deeply recognizable figures whose personal lives still generate enormous attention. Industry insiders will be watching, fans will be watching, and tabloids certainly will, because stories like this often move in stages: rumor, response, public appearance, counter-narrative, maybe reconciliation, maybe escalation. The next chapter may depend on what the couple does next. A united front? Again? Some believe the pair may respond as they have before, with silence, then unity, a red carpet appearance, family photos, a message without words. Hollywood couples often use optics strategically,
And few have managed image as carefully as these two. If speculation grows, such a move would surprise no one. Or something more serious. Still, skeptics wonder whether repeated "they're fine" narratives have masked deeper issues for years. Sometimes what appears solid publicly is fragile privately, and sometimes reports dismissed as gossip end up signaling real fractures. No one outside the marriage truly knows. That uncertainty keeps this story alive. The bigger question. Ultimately, fascination with this story is not just about celebrities. It taps universal themes: trust, second chances, consequences, marriage under strain. Can repeated mistakes be forgiven indefinitely? Can public scandals stop at the public line? How many times can a relationship absorb shock? Those questions make this more than celebrity gossip. They make it a story people project onto. What comes next? For now, much remains speculation. There has been no public confirmation of an ultimatum, no announcement of separation, no sign the marriage is ending, only reports, sources, counter-sources, and growing scrutiny. But even unconfirmed narratives can reveal something, that people sense vulnerability where they once assumed stability. Whether this becomes a brief tabloid cycle or a defining turning point remains unknown. But one thing is clear: the pressure surrounding Jessica Biel and Justin Timberlake is no longer just about an old arrest. It is about what happens after repeated warnings, public or private, and whether one of Hollywood's most watched couples can once again survive a storm that many now believe feels different from the rest. For now, the marriage remains intact, the questions remain louder than the answers, and the world is watching what happens next.